sometimes the Spirit gives me a song, and usually he has me play it like at least 3 times. So I'm going to play a song that you listen to here in the group a couple of times.
I want to return to the place where I can feel the grace again. I want to return to the place where I can feel the grace again. Inside my heart, I know there is the place where I can know I live in faith, in wholeness and free. I am. And now I return to the place where I can behold my true face. Before I thought somehow that I had fallen from your love, from your love. And so I remember in the deepest that I am a part of your love, and that I never can be kept apart. Your light is what I am made of. I look out upon this world anew, and my eyes behold the sky of deepest blue, a sky that looks like it has always been. It has lit up this world for all time. And now I release all the guilt in me, that I can return to the healing, the place where I truly am free. And your love is a call of reminding. I choose now to breathe in the air of love. I choose now to walk on an earth of love. I choose now to eat of the fruit of love. I choose now to bathe in the stream of love. I choose now to be born again in love. I choose now to be reformed again in love. I choose now to be who I am in love. I choose to be choose to be in your love. I choose now to be in your love. I choose now to live in your love. Your love is who I am. I choose now to live in your love. I choose now to give from your love. I choose to forgive in your love, and I am forgiven in your love. I am forgiven in your love. I am forgiven in your love.
Thanks to Michael Stillwater, In Your Love. Yeah, it's interesting, the idea of choice. Like I choose now to be in your love. I choose now to be who I am in love. That we actually need to choose for the truth. And this is a strange thing from the truth's perspective, but from thinking we are humans, thinking we are a person in this world, choice is very natural. We think we choose all the time, things we do, things we like, things we don't like. And all that was actually from the beginning a choice. It was a choice to say no to who we are in truth. That's why, choices seem possible, is because we try to choose against truth. And we lost ourselves in that. And then from that state, we need to choose the truth. We seem to need to choose the truth. I consciously decide, I choose now to be in your love, for example. Once we are exhausted and tired of the illusion, that is the choice we make. When we have had enough. But until that point, we seem to hurt ourselves. We seem to stay in the land of confusion until we've had enough of it. Like Jesus says that in the Course, like you can endure quite a lot of suffering, but it's not without limit. Like there comes a point when you've had enough. And he also says you cannot completely obliterate the truth. There is always part of your mind that is completely sane, that is staying with the truth. But it may have shrunk into just a little seed that needs nurturing, that needs, that may make itself heard and start to feel like, yeah, like you want to let it grow. We can just meditate for a bit and let the day we have had fall away. You can release whatever has been going on for you. Maybe take some breaths. Just feel like you open your inner being, open your mind. And it can be the experience of not even knowing what you're opening to, because spirit is completely undefined, impossible to define. It will tell you through experience what it is. And we open to that now. We release concepts and rituals. Even release the self, the one who you normally think you are. Can just hand it over. And if you have strain or you have thoughts, try to just let them go for a moment. Nothing at all has happened, but you have put yourself to sleep and dreamed the dream in which you were an alien to yourself and but a part of someone else's dream. Nothing at all has happened, but you put yourself to sleep and dreamed the dream in which you were an alien to yourself and part of someone else's dream. An alien to yourself. And there is a choice of dreams while you're still asleep. There is a choice of dreams while you're still asleep, depending on the purpose of your dreaming. The choice depends on the purpose of your dreaming. Do you wish for dreams of healing or for dreams of death? Do you wish for dreams of healing or for dreams of death? Maybe you vacillate. Maybe there are only moments when you dream dreams for healing. Maybe there are still dreams of death that keep you trapped and makes you feel like you're just a part of someone else's dream. A dream is like a memory in that it pictures what you wanted shown to you. A dream is like a memory in that it pictures what you wanted shown to you. An empty storehouse with an open door holds all your shreds of memories and dreams. And for a change of content of the dream, it must be realized that it is you who dreamed the dreaming that you don't like. That's the first step in changing the content, is to realize that you were the one who dreamed it. You were the one that dreamed the content that you don't like. It is but an effect that you have caused, and you would not be cause of this effect. You don't want to see that you caused this. But it's essential to realize that for the dream to change. In dreams of murder and attack, are you the victim in a dying body, slain? But in forgiving dreams, is no one asked to be the victim and the sufferer. So here, the forgiveness, again, this, you know how many times he talks about forgiveness in the course. It's the key. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. And who is the one that has the power to forgive? You. Not them. You. I have a video called Forgiveness is Your Superpower. And it is. It's your superpower. Learn how to use it selflessly, fully. Where there is no ego. Like, we cannot forgive with the ego. Like, the better. I'm better than you, so I can forgive you. That's murder. That's not love. Forgiveness is realizing what you thought your brother did has not occurred. And for that, we need spirit. We need a power much greater than our little personal minds, to realize it didn't happen, to realize it was a dream. Until we want that, we will project, and we will be angry at dream figures, and we will be a victim. So in dreams of victimhood, it's murder and attack. That sounds awful. That feels bad. And that's what we want to see, that. We want to fully actually be able to see it. We want to look at death and murder, the belief in death and murder, like the viciousness of the ego. We want to be able to look at it and admit, oh, this is, this cold-hearted way I did believe in. Because until then, we are victims and victimizers, until we can see it. Sometimes it can be shocking. I do feel like we are little children. Jesus calls us little children. We are little children, and sometimes even naive, or, we can be shocked when we see the hatred or the extent of the denial in the mind. How far we can go to protect the ego, to protect, sometimes we protect someone else. I had that experience with my mother. I wanted to protect her from knowing that I was abused as a child. It was so intense. And I realized it was also, I had denied it to myself, but I denied it definitely to her with the excuse that she was too busy. I couldn't tell her because she was too busy. And it was so strong, the denial, the wanting to protect her. And I didn't know that I had that in me, that idea. But of course, I'm a dream figure. She's a dream figure in that scenario. And I feel that we have done this, we have this kind of strong promise to protect the ego. And this is fear-based. And it can play out in many different ways. Compromise. It's usually just a big experience of compromise and fear. So that's why we need some help. The best prayer I know is help. Help me. Yeah. And then be so open to the help that we are led, that we dare to face that fear. Because it's not about the characters, sometimes we get caught up in what to say and to whom, but we can let spirit direct that. It's the mind, it's the energy within we face. It's not people. People are pictures or reflections. Like I read here, it's, they're, you are not a part of someone else's dream. You're the dreamer. But until we want to see that we are this character in other people's dreams, and we try to cope and we try to manage, because there is so much fear of accepting the truth. And maybe sometimes we just do it a little bit, at moments. This morning we talked here about I need do nothing, which is such a beautiful piece in the course. And he says there, you have never utterly forgotten the body. It has faded in your awareness at times, and at those times you're free, and then you return to the body, but you will never see it the same again. It will be lighter, and it will be very, very, like a feeling of it's very simple. Everything gets very simple, and the world of form has less power or less weight. And I feel the Spirit's presence very clearly. If anyone has a topic that you would like to explore, let me know.
Hi.
Hi.
What I am lately working a lot with, give it over, but it's still there, is it seems that this character really believes in pressure because it's in the body. I can feel it in the body, and I know it's not in the body, it's in the mind. So I give it over and over and over again, but yeah, it's still there, and I can see that then sometimes thinking, what I'm doing wrong? What do I need to do because it's not a nice feeling. It's in the head, it's in the feet, it's in a lot of places of seemingly the body, but I know it's in the mind. And yeah, help always. Jesus, help, Jesus, help. I have no clue, but at least I put it again on the altar.
Yeah. That's good. You know, this, yeah, I've felt that a lot, the pressure of responsibility, or yeah, just pressure, you know, but as you start to open up, you may need to do it all the time, help, because it's the story of yourself. Like, that is that pressure.
Oh yeah, now I get it. Okay. Yeah, it's infinite patience. I think Spirit is really teaching me now infinite patience.
Yeah.
And trust, a deeper trust that it will, yeah.
Yeah.
Letting go the personality totally.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm working a lot with that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like question, okay, what story did I believe now? What story did I buy into now? You know?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Gonna try that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes I feel it, but I can't say something happened, you know. So yeah. But
Yeah. I think a lot of us are conditioned to be good girls and good boys.
oh my gosh, yeah, totally.
And I think that's often behind the pressure.
Yeah, I need to work more with that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because responsibility, that's for sure. I worked a lot with. And perhaps it's not totally gone. I don't know. But I need to trust. But it is again and again and again and again. Give it over.
Yeah.
But at least I put it here now. So
Yeah. Thank you.
thank you.
Mm. Yeah. How many have felt the pressure of being a person? Thinking you're a person, thinking you have to live up to something. Probably all of us. Yeah. Something is required. You have to be good. What if you release the idea of being good at something, managing? What if there is no managing? What if there is one M, capital M manager within, the light within? It really gets simple, and you have to become present. Like, if you align with the manager, the real manager, God, you can't think. You can't think about the future or the past or the small self. A lot will get peeled off right away. All the concerns and worries, pressures, plans, what's left. I think this is what the ego is afraid of. What is left then? You know, to the ego, there is nothing left then. Like, there's nothing so terrifying as, I do not know who I am. I do not know the thing I am, what I'm doing, or how to look upon the world or on myself. Yet, in that knowing is salvation born. In that state is salvation born. Salvation means saved, being saved, being salvaged. There's so much fear of that, so therefore we have these layers of self-concepts, plans upon plans about the future, thoughts upon thoughts about the past and the future. So heavy. The whole world is made from that fear. But there is the stage of the happy dream or the forgiven world that comes in when we release the layers and when we start to align with the manager. I like that. I never called God the manager, but I think that's a good name. If we want to release some religious words here, we can just call him the manager. But we need to let him be the manager. He's not imposing. God is not imposing. So if we don't line up with the manager, we are the manager ourselves, and that's when we have problems. But yeah, God doesn't impose his will. His will is, and we're invited to realize that it is our will as well, to align. And the question is, will we do it sooner or later? But why not now? Like he says in the course, in the introduction, it says, only the time you take this course is up to you. But the fact that you will take it is not up to you. You will take this course in whatever form it comes to you. And to all of us, it's come as A Course in Miracles. And, it's a pretty good path. But yeah, the path of undoing, wow, it can be intense, it can be daunting, very intense when we say yes to awakening, yes to healing. It's like we suddenly find ourselves on a roller coaster. Very turbulent. It can feel for some of us for a while. And all we can do is to hang in with it. Just keep being willing. Because there's no alternative. Like sleeping or waking. And when you realize there is no alternative, you want waking as quickly as possible. You want to save time. And there is no shortcut. It's all about becoming more conscious, making the unconscious mind conscious. And I find it interesting. Jesus says the unconscious mind is the unwatched mind. The part of the mind we just didn't see yet. So this is something we can cultivate. Like I want to see the unconscious mind. I want to cultivate my readiness to look at it and make it conscious. That's inspiring. It can be like something you do every day, or a prayer. Like, I really want to see my unconscious mind because I don't want it to act out. it acts out in dreams, you know, even nighttime dreams, but in your daily dreams too. The unconscious mind acts out and makes you a victim to the world. Can you accept that you were never a victim? That it was all your dream all along? There's freedom in that. But there is so much guilt in the mind, in the sleeping mind, and therefore there is blame. Therefore there is, you know, you did this to me kind of experience. So sometimes we just need some space to look at it. And it disappears in this, in the loving presence. It's just a lot of love. But yeah, just to talk about the intensity of the undoing, I had no idea what I signed up for when I just when I started reading the course, I just felt such huge desire for what it was offering. I mean, it was shocking to me in a good way that there was a way out, that the world is not real. God did not create the world. Wow, that was really big when I read that. God did not create the world. And when I realized the voice in the course, when I realized that, you know, the spirit of it, I felt like, well, this I want, and this I can trust. And it was not hard to give up whatever I was doing in the world. But it set me off on a very intense journey. Like I had no idea what was going to come in terms of undoing, humbling. It's humbling to accept a teacher, to accept someone in that I trusted more than myself, and to let the undoing begin. It's very, very, very humbling and very, very helpful. And now all I want to do is to pass it on, pass it forward, what I have been given. So if anyone is in for it, I'm here. Come on, come along. When I invited Barrett to come over to join with me on this path, I told him, you're going to be very angry at me. Your rage is going to come up. And he said, no way, you know, but very well. Like a year later, it happened when it, you know, came to the undoing of some special relationships. But he was in for it. And I think that's key. We need to be in for it, and we need to have enough trust in someone that spirit is showing us, you know, in someone, or in the path, in what's given. Yeah. So are there any other thoughts up here, or themes or feelings?
Hi.
Hi.
Just Thank you, Jenny. On this manager relationship, I remember from the weekend with David, there were questions about how to know guidance versus something else. And I had an experience, and I'm maybe bringing it here to the light to kind of see it for myself, because I was last week making a decision. Well, I can say it was about signing up for a course, and it seemed unimportant enough that I could bring it in, present it for guidance, and so I asked for guidance.
Did you say unimportant? Unimportant?
Unimportant enough, yes. There was like this thing in me that, oh, let's play with something not so big, or so I felt it. So that, because when there are strong emotions, I there's more resistance, isn't there? So the point is, 3 times I got the same answer, and yet I went and did the opposite. So this was a whole experience, because for sorry, for the whole day afterwards, days afterwards, I was like, what am I playing at? Is it just is it like a game of how strong is my ego, how strong is my will, versus what seemed to be a clear answer?
Was
And
it that?
I wonder what it was. I'm still not clear about all of it. Was it just me showing my rebellion? I don't know.
Yeah, even how you first put it, you chose something unimportant enough to play with, to try it out, which, it's okay. We can test it and try it. But yeah, that just shows that you don't trust that guidance is there, that the manager is actually there to manage you. And so
the reason for the unimportant was, I don't trust that I will. I thought with something not so important, I might surrender. This was my whole point. And even with something that I thought was not so important, I did what I managed myself. So that kind of tells me, is it that it wasn't so unimportant after all? Or is it that even with unimportant things, I'm not willing to surrender?
yeah,
That's
a
my
question to ask yourself.
conundrum.
Maybe it wasn't unimportant enough. Your part of you desired to do that thing, whatever that was, and not follow, also there's such belief in randomness. So throwing the coin, you could perhaps say, well, that's probably not spirit, even after 3 times. Or did you know? Did you tell yourself this is?
I felt it was quite clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then it was rebelliousness. Yeah. That you had already made up your mind and you didn't really want to follow. And this is, it's good to see that. There can be a lot of resistance to following guidance. A lot. Until we have enough consequences of not following, then we see it makes no sense not to follow. When we've had enough of, suffering, actually, because not following guidance brings more suffering, more confusion, being more lost. not saving time, but prolonging time. And when we have had enough of that, we will follow. We just, but in the beginning, yeah, it takes actually, I remember it felt like I needed to give a lot of willingness to follow. And it was like some kind of wisdom inside that said, yeah, that this is, follow this, even when your ego or part of you wants something else, you are going to be happy that you follow this. If I knew the guidance, yeah. So you could test that next time, perhaps follow and see how that, how that turns out.
Yes, and maybe the whole game of of what to bring is in itself, like I choose to bring this, whether it's important or unimportant. Maybe that's not. Of course, you have to start with something, but why did I choose to practice with precisely that? Is also puzzling me. What made me at that point? Because there's obviously also a desire to surrender to guidance, and I think that was what took me, and I don't know why on that specific day to say, oh, let me offer this, and then I don't know what I was going to say, but
Right, about the specific topic you chose.
yes, how we decide what to bring and what not to bring. That's I guess also something
Yeah.
that
Usually
me.
when you have more, what you have more specialness with, you choose to keep to yourself. What is closer to your persona or your specialness that you don't let spirit in on easily. So, yeah.
And the interesting thing with this is, because you said earlier that I had made my decision. In fact, I had not made a decision at that point. It felt like 50-50. It really felt like quite neutral until I heard one possibility, and then I strongly felt called to the opposite one. And I'm just like, is that again just me asserting my will against guidance? It's or is it just that was showing me how strongly I felt about it without knowing? So it's, I guess that's maybe games as well that you play afterwards with what's happened.
Yeah, I've noticed in myself, I used to play a game of making myself wrong. Sometimes even making up the guidance to make myself wrong. Like I've seen that pattern, like a destructive pattern. That's, crazy, but yeah. I mean, the psyche is kind of, in a way, can be a complicated thing when you have guilt or when there is a lot of self-doubt.
And that's another interesting process for me after the experience, taking that lightly as well. Like, I'm not going to be punished for going against guidance. And it's it didn't take very long, which surprised me, to feel light about it. I know there will be consequences, but it's not in the strong dramatic sense of you will be punished. It's just consequences that are natural, and that's been good to watch, and it makes me want to try again, whereas otherwise I would be stuck not wanting to try it.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for
That's
the
it.
space to share that.
Yeah, thank you. Very helpful thoughts. Yeah. But yeah, I feel with guidance, you know, the guidance is clear and tells us what to do. And there is often resistance because it takes us out of our comfort zone. And often it involves other people, communication. And that takes us out of our comfort zone. You know, it's a little scary. So, but following it brings miracles. I've seen it enough times that following it is the highest, it's for the highest good. Yeah. And just to know that the ego is the resistance, you know, the part that says no, maybe later, or, you know, the part that resists it. I'm thinking of the story of Pinocchio, who wanted to be a real boy, you know, but he was on the strings, you know, and I actually want to be on the strings. I don't want to be a real boy, a real girl, you know, real in the world that is autonomous, that goes on adventures, you know, that aren't really fun. We want to be on the strings. We want to be back in the will, you know. Let me realize my will is God's will, that my will is one with God's, you know, that is true freedom. Nothing else was freedom. We thought it was freedom to make our own decisions and, you know, play around on planet Earth. You know, and it was maybe some fun, but it was a lot of suffering. It was, you know, a lot of fluctuations. But with the ego, the deceived mind, which is another name for it, you know, there's a lot of doubts about being one with God. Having my will is one with God's, until it isn't, till it's so coarse, unambiguous clarity. Considering the name, the deceived mind, Jesus uses that word for it in the Course, the deceived mind. We're deceived. Now we want to come back to the single mind, being single-minded. Let thine eye be single. Stay within. Like we have the silent retreat now. We talk a lot about staying within, not going outside into the external world and acting as a person. Having the permission to stay within, to stay still, to be in the still mind. Whether there are people around, whether someone crosses your path or enters the room, or who said that you have to acknowledge a body just because they appear, you know. To practice just staying still, even in the doing, even in activity. That's also from the I Need Do Nothing chapter. He talks about the busy doings, but the place of stillness will come with you. It doesn't feel like you're the doer when you're letting that place of stillness be your center. think it's important to remember that you're doing your best. We're all doing our best, you know. And that is a very restful place to be. The mind will say something should be different, but no. You allow and just allow how you are, how you feel. That's really the opening to the present. And we don't need to present a mask, present something to the outside world. What if you were completely the same when you're completely alone or with people? Or if you have a special partner, if you're the same with them as with other people when you're alone. You know, when there is no conflict between what you think and say and do, then you're at peace. But if there is a big conflict or discrepancy between what you think and say and do, there, you know, is a lot of private thoughts, or yeah, it's like a lot to release. That's a nice calling to work with. Well, I feel to announce the retreat in the Netherlands. There's still a few spots left open. So I feel guided to mention it here now. If anybody is called to join, you can just send me a message. It will be a little cozy retreat, I think 4 days, 12th to the 15th. Yeah, 3 or 4 days, I think it is. In a house in Holland, outside Zutphen, like very cozy. And we'll all be together in the house and have those 4 days to go deep. Yeah. Yeah, it's like we covered some really, really good topics. I love the topic of guidance because it's what we want. Imagine that you don't make any decisions. You just release all decisions. There is no strain inside then. And we don't have to think like there is an outside power, that the manager, that God is outside and he's gonna like tell us somehow from the outside, but God is within. You know, it's a relaxed place to receive guidance and to be in the alignment, to be in the connection. It's not, you know, sure, in the beginning it can feel like it's outside. when you're still very, very identified as a person, then it can feel like God is outside and you have to try to hear or connect to the guidance. Sometimes it can be like that, but when you feel more within, you know, less identified with the form, you are in the flow. You're just, you know, it's obvious. Like there are no decisions then, it's just a flow. So let's release all doubt. Pain, let's bring it up to be released. That's not fearful. Only good. It's only good, you know. If there's fear, it's because there's fear of the goal, fear of the fear of God. I'm not really fearful of the stuff. And when we realize that, you know, it's like, that sounds insane to be afraid of God or be afraid of love. And when we realize that is insane, we realize we don't have to be afraid anymore. I like these lines from the Course. Never have you been asked so little to receive so much. It doesn't cost anything to receive everything. To the ego mind, this seems to have a cost. But it's not true. When we go for it, we realize that there was no loss whatsoever, no cost, no sacrifice. Just glory. Just glory is given. I realize all these old songs, revival songs, glory, glory, hallelujah. What a beautiful expression that is. Glory to God. Sometimes I think it's very good for us to worship God. It brings us into gratitude and experience. I don't think God needs it at all, but it feels good for us to lift up in us what is real. Acknowledge it and be grateful for it. Like love is not far behind a grateful heart and a thankful mind. Okay. I mean, that's a nice moment to finish for tonight. Thank you all for joining. See you soon. Love you.